things you ain't never thought about thinking.
Remember those rappers we jammed to back in the day? The ones spitting fire verses with the tight rhymes, the fly outfits, hype crews so lit? Yeah, well, some of them vanished, almost like they dropped into the Bermuda Triangle of the rap world. We're talking about chart toppers dropped like a bad habit.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Stick around for a legit dose of nostalgia as we dive into the dusty corners of rap history to unearth these 15 male rappers who simply vanished from Hollywood and the possible drama that led to their disappearance from the scene. We begin with Chingy. Born Howard Earl Bailey Jr., American rapper Chingy, now 46 years old, started out touring as an opening act for fellow rapper Nelly in 2002. Same year, Chingy got signed to Ludacris's record label, Disturbing the Peace. 2003 came rolling by, and Chingy dropped us a monster hit single titled Right There, which peaked number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, serving us hit tracks like Holiday Inn, Pulling Me Back, and featuring fellow rap stars like DTP boss Ludacris, Snoop Dogg, and Tyrese. Collabs with the biggest stars, making big money moves and living that good life. He was spitting bars, rocking bling, and giving us anthems. But somewhere between those chunky sneakers, the oversized jerseys, and the dainty bucket hats, we stopped getting the hits, and we could almost hear crickets. It might have had something to do with the controversy that rocked his career and blindsided all of us. And all it took was one picture with a transsexual named Sydney Starr.
Well, with some girls who we thought was all girls on stage in body paint dancing. While I'm on stage, one happened to say they're a fan of mine and want a picture. I took the picture. Next thing you know, 2 years later, all of this false stuff comes out nobody knows nothing about. And that's literally how that went.
2 years after the picture is taken, Sydney comes out to claim that she was in an amorous sexual relationship with rapper Chingy, using that picture.
That was the first time I met him, definitely, at that performance.
So yeah, it was all a lie, and this was a big deal because back then, there was nothing hip about a rap star being anything more than straight. All that drama was considered bad publicity, so there was hell to pay for it.
Which caused me to lose a record deal that I had been working on for years. I was in negotiations with Interscope about doing a deal. Man, I was flying out to California, getting on yachts, going on the water with these people, eating fruit, doing all type of stuff to secure this deal. They said that was so big on social media, they didn't want to go through with it. And I lost a record deal from a lie.
And it felt like the beginning of the end for Chingy. He could almost feel everything begin to crumble. What was crazy, though, was that accusations started to fly about Ludacris and Shaka Zulu stealing from Chingy. Can the drama be any more interesting?
Throughout my first album and throughout the whole journey, which I wasn't complaining because things were going great. I never had an own lawyer. So a lot of people would tend to say, well, that's not good. I never had my own lawyer. But my mother got this lawyer, and after a while, when he went over the contracts and everything, this is who started saying Disturbing the Peace was stealing from me. Not me. I never said it. The lawyer made that statement. Here I am in this position. So I looked at him as a guy. But when we left that meeting, communication just slowly broke apart. People was busy and communication just slowly broke apart. After that, I was more confused than anything because I didn't know what was really going on. I didn't get why the lawyer said what he said. I didn't get why. Now, when you tell a 23-year-old kid, somebody he's look up to that's like a god and everybody, you tell them, oh, they stealing from you. Now the kid is confused. I'm confused. I'm like, huh? What you mean he's stealing from me? I don't get it. We having the best time of our lives. Everything is great. So things just slowly started to slow down and communication slowly started to stop to where that was the breakup.
The silence was too loud for a rap artist who generally needs all the noise they can get. And it just seemed like there was no recovery for his brand. Chingy is now 44 years old and has an estimated net worth of $2 million. But while we're on the lookout for a possible Chingy comeback, we're left to reminisce on the good old days of Chingy. Oh, by the way, one of Chingy's sons is following in his father's footsteps in the showbiz. He's an actor in the TV series with Tia Mowry, Family Reunion. Everyone and their grandma used the song "A Baby" as their ringtone because that track was simply vibes. The beat was bumping, we were stumping, but like a hurricane, he was gone quick. American rapper Hurricane Chris was born Christopher Gerard Dooley Jr. in Louisiana. The now 35-year-old blessed our mobile phone ringtones with the hit single "A Baby," selling 60,000 copies of his debut album 5051 Ratchet in the first week. His second album did not do as well, and that's when the cookie began to crumble. At one point, he even had Halle Berry dancing to his song about Halle Berry. Can you believe it? However, in 2020, Hurricane Chris got in trouble with the law and was arrested and charged with second-degree murder.
This morning, rapper Hurricane Chris, who rose to fame in 2007, is facing a murder charge after a shooting at a Shreveport, Louisiana convenience store. Police say the man, Danzaria Ferris Jr., later died at the hospital from his injuries. Officers say the rapper, whose real name is Christopher Dooley, claimed the shooting was in self-defense after a struggle over his vehicle.
Thankfully, the verdict read not guilty, as the deceased was actually trying to steal Hurricane Chris's car, and he only acted out of self-defense. Unfortunately, the incident cost him much more than legal fees.
And that's what they did, lost all 12 jurors. So now I want back everything. They took my phone. I lost every contact in the phone. I couldn't even contact Vlad. I lost my Facebook. I was doing majority of my bookings through my Facebook. When I lost the phone with the Facebook, it caused for the Facebook to get hacked. So now the Facebook gone. I was able to post and do millions immediately, like M's on M's. People was buying the rights to every thing I did on Facebook. My bag was coming from there heavy. I missed calls for acting agencies with movies. I stopped getting bookings because people was giving the promoters trouble saying they was bringing killers into their town. I had a Fila shoot. You put this shit on my name, you think I could go back to Fila while you got me charged with second-degree murder? No, Fila they not with that. I'm clear now and they see what it is, so it's back up there. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, you took everything from me for 3 years. Wasn't no possibility for me to go out here and make no commercial money with my name.
Maybe Hurricane Chris got caught in the eye of that storm because we're yet to get a comeback that takes us back to the days of vibing to "A Baby." He has an estimated net worth of $300K.
Everybody in the club get
That beat had us all in a chokehold. But you don't see us complaining. Born Jarrell C. Jones, American rapper J-Kwon released his single "Tipsy" while signed to So-So Def Recordings. The track had instant hit written all over it, and a hit it was. A subsequent album that featured the single "Tipsy" started at number 7 on the Billboard 200 chart.
I got any kind of endorsements you thinking about. I'm recording a song for Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? We did everybody in the world drinking Pepsi. You know how many people come up to me and say, "Bro, that song took me through college. Bro, that song took me through high school. Bro, that song just took me through my life."
Dude was young and getting it, and that didn't go unnoticed. So much so that someone tried to pin a child on him. Scratch that. They did pin a child on him. Dead sure that the child wasn't his, J-Kwon tries to pay her off. Gets multiple lawyers, requests a DNA test, but none of that worked. After 7 years, J-Kwon is finally granted a DNA test, and the child is not his.
They finally awarded me a blood test. So for 7 years, basically, I was just paying somebody else's child support.
That must take some kind of toll. After his album release, the most shocking thing happens. The record label he was signed to shut down. Yep, gone, done, over. J-Kwon was no one-hit wonder, though. Hard as he tried to fight the odds and stay afloat, he simply couldn't, and the slippery slope to Hollywood oblivion began. He is 38 years old and has an estimated net worth of $500K.
shake it fast.
Born Michael Lawrence Tyler, American rapper, songwriter, and actor Mystical was everywhere in the late 90s to early 2000s, collaborating with the big dogs in the game like Jay-Z, Ludacris, and Missy Elliott. Multi-platinum albums and several Grammy nominations to his credit, dude had talent enough for 2 rappers. We're right in the middle of his successful career and then awkward silence.
In state news, a rapper was booked into the Ascension Parish Jail after deputies responded to a call all about a sexual assault case. 51-year-old Michael Tyler, also known as Mystical, was arrested on multiple charges including first-degree rape and domestic abuse battery. This is not the first time Tyler has faced charges regarding sexual misconduct. In 2003, the rapper pleaded guilty to sexual battery and spent time in prison. All persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Talk about some legal hot water. He served jail time for 6 years, and that's a long time to be out of the rap game. Let's just say that the rapper's life has been very controversial, to say the least. By the time he was out, the rap game was off in another direction, and Mystical simply could not keep up. He's now 53 and he still looks fine. Ladies, what do you think? He has an estimated net worth of $2 million. Born Christopher Noel Dorsey, American rapper BG, or Baby Gangsta, went from juvenile delinquent to a platinum artist. BG began his musical career in 1993 when he signed a record deal at the age of 12. In a group with fellow label mates, which included Lil Wayne, they released 3 albums that did quite well. And get this, he was the youngest in the group. Solo, BG has released 5 albums with 1 going platinum. BG gave us hits like Bling Bling, It's Not My Fault, and of course collabed with the biggest names in the game. On Top of the World, Living Life in the Fast Lane, Cars, Cash, and, well, let's just say his lyrics weren't exactly choir practice material.
Calling my name everywhere. Hey, Zane.
In 2012, BG bagged prison time.
BG from the New Orleans rap group Hot Boys is now facing charges related to a recent performance in Las Vegas. Our partners at NOLA.com report BG, whose real name is Christopher Dorsey, performed alongside Gucci Mane and fellow Louisiana rapper Lil Boosie back in February and also released music videos. Dorsey is currently on probation for gun charges he was convicted on in 2012. According to court documents obtained by NOLA.com, he did not have permission to perform or post the music videos. Dorsey said in response, quote, "I'm a rapper, that is my profession." He was arrested following the show, but was reportedly released on Wednesday. No word on when he'll be in court again.
And was only recently released in 2023. And now it seems like he might be headed right back. Remember Calling Me? That tune was everywhere. Lil Zane was the ultimate teen idol, spitting rhymes with a mini Tupac flow and rocking braids that simply defied gravity. Born Zane Copeland Jr., the American rapper was on MTV Cribs living the dream. But then, honey, things got quiet. No more hit tracks, nothing. What went wrong? Lil Zane lets us in on the management and label issues that slipped his career into Relic Town.
One, accumulate to I didn't have proper management, but then on top of that, I was going through my label merge. I got caught up in the labels were merging. I was on Priority, then they merged and Capitol bought them, and then EMI, bought Capitol out, and then it was just like, so you get caught up in that label merge with no management, coming off a successful first album, then here comes other artists with their stuff together, and the label's just like, hold on, we'll figure that out. Wow. Let's move on first. So, and then, I jumped into film stuff, and I started making good money in the film. Right. And then one of the agents I was with ended up getting caught in a big scandal, allegedly caught in a big scandal, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. I had to do some reevaluating with my mentality of what I wanted, because I was a wild boy.
Should we look forward to the now 41-year-old Lil Zane granting us a surprise album in the near future? I guess only time will tell. He now has an estimated $2.5 million. That ice cream truck tune gave us the permission to allow our inner child to come alive. In case you thought that song was a little corny, it's because Jibbs was only 15 when he made that track. But we don't mind, right? Born Jovan Campbell, American rapper Jibbs was launched from a family of musicians. Jibbs was that rapper with the catchy rhymes and the matching swag. But poof, gone faster than free money. This dude went from topping the charts to becoming a Hollywood ghost story quicker than you could say magic trick. A lack of inspiration might be behind his disappearing act.
The reason I do what I do, the reason I'm trying to come change the game, because ain't nobody been inspiring me lately. Everybody been coming with the same thing, so I'm trying to come with something a little different, change it up a little bit so I can inspire others. It ain't that I'm not really feeling it. Everybody just coming with the same thing to me. So I want to come with something different, change it up a little bit.
But hey, we got a few years of pure, unadulterated fun from Jibbs. And who knows, maybe one day he'll find the inspiration he needs and make a triumphant return to the rap game. Remember him? With the do-rag, the growl in his voice, the grills on his teeth, and the lyrics that are, well, nothing G-rated about that. Born Moses Barrett III, P.D. Pablo went from spitting fire on the charts to slipping into Relic Town quicker than you can say freak a leak.
I sat back and I learned, and I kept my mouth closed and I kept my eyes and my ears open. And I learned for the first year that I was with him. And so that's what made me so musically inclined when it came to professionally recording. Because now I don't need nobody in the studio. I can go in the studio, I can produce, I can engineer, I can arrange, I can write, I can do it all.
That's a whole lot of talent right there. But in 2006, P.D. took a break from music to focus on his mom, who became ill. Don't you love a man who's a family man? Subsequently, filing for bankruptcy twice, prison time for firearms possession, his mom's death, filing for bankruptcy again, all of that takes its toll. Boy, what a life. Now 50 years old, P.D.'s not completely fallen off the rap game bandwagon. He promises us another studio album soon with all the fire and swag. Here's looking forward to that. He has an estimated net worth of $1 million.
Patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
Remember Chamillionaire? The dude who dazzled us with a 61-track mixtape in 2005 and had us asking questions about police brutality way before it became a universal hot topic? Yeah, well, Chamillionaire's story is a little like a one-hit wonder with a side of where'd he go? There's a possibility that Chamillionaire got caught up in the business side of the music industry, and he found that the record labels weren't what they seemed.
The artist in me, I often kind of feel sorry for other artists and musicians because when I started investing, well, first, the state of the music industry is designed to rip off an artist. That's what I believe. I believe that when the check gets handed to an artist, the check is normally not right. The first person that told me this was Nelly. Nelly told me, you gotta learn how to do this thing called an audit. And I was like, what is that? And then he was like, man, you gotta get a lawyer. And so I searched, I found Jay-Z's auditor, right? And then this guy went and said, I'll do it for, I'm not gonna charge you up front, I'm gonna take a piece. And I was like, okay. So he goes and he finds over $600,000 that the label hid for me. So I was like, wait a second, is this the way it always is? He's like, yeah, you gotta keep on doing this. So I realized all my peers didn't know this. I got into the music industry and thought that when you have a song that's number one, that it just goes magically because your song's good. It's paid. Like, payola is not supposed to be like a thing, but it's real. Like, I had to pay a lot of money to get my record to number one.
He might not be topping charts anymore, but you cannot deny his influence on Southern hip-hop. With a current net worth of $50 million, made from investing in tech and founding his own record label, Chamillionaire proves that rap is for intelligent people. And who knows, maybe one day he'll drop us another mixtape that'll have us all reminiscing about the good old days.
Tell not the motel or the Holiday Inn.
Remember Cassidy? Smooth flow and the two-step in 2G that made you question your own dance moves? Born Barry Adrian Reese, his bars were sharper than a barber's blade, and he could go toe-to-toe with anyone in the rap game. With collaborations with the big names in the rap game, Cassidy was on fire, y'all.
To now he talking shit to me, so I'm back mad again. I'm thinking about all the shit they saying on the radio. I'm thinking about how he talking right now, and I'm thinking about who I am. And I'm like, yo, this disrespecting me. Like, what are you talking about? So he keep talking about his artists and how they kill me or whatever. So I'm like, man, I will destroy any of them niggas. I don't give a you call over here. So now I'm like, I little up my tone and all that. Got a little tone and all that. I'm a little angry. Got a little frown on my face.
Somewhere between the legendary Jay-Z rap diss battle and those oversized jerseys, things went sideways. Prison time, a car accident, and a switch in record label companies have not been too kind to the career of the rapper who's now 41 years old. However, he has an estimated $7 million.
Be back. I need more to spend. She say she wanna.
The definition of Southern swagger, rapper Slim Thug had his debut album go platinum. Collaborating with the biggest names in the game like Beyonce and Gwen Stefani, his lyrics had everyone bumping their trunks. He was living the dream. Fancy cars, big houses, enough bling to make Mr. T jealous. But then, somewhere in between, Slim Thug kinda just disappeared. No dramatic exit, no diss tracks, nothing. He just faded away like a ringtone on a flip phone. He has released some body of work recently.
I didn't put in my time, now I'm a mastermind still.
Always one to express hard opinions that get him under fire, it seemed like the rap game has changed a little too quickly for Slim Thug to keep up and stay in the spotlight. But maybe he simply doesn't want that spotlight anymore. Who knows? This is why he's hot. And fiery hot he was.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why.
That song was on radio, on club playlists, on our flip phone ringtones, on TV. It was everywhere you looked. And then there were tracks like Move and Like This. Mims was spitting fire. A dragon seemed like practice. Can we take a second to talk about those videos? The dance moves? Dude was made for the spotlight.
This single literally went from like 0 to 60 in like overnight almost.
I mean, you know, I got a good team behind me. Capitol Records, they definitely put a lot of elbow grease into this.
Yeah.
Number one record.
But the song is it's a really solid song.
But after a brief brush with it, it was like he vanished. Radio silence. What happened? Well, it seems that just like a number of rappers on this list, the numbers were not adding up for Mims, both in his head and his bank account.
I like to say that everything that I took flack for, because it was taboo at the time, like being a digital artist, selling ringtones, later on became the norm. I took a lot of that on my chin, being ridiculed because a lot of people kind of positioned me as this one-hit wonder. As I realized that everything was becoming digital, I wasn't surprised by the success digitally. I had to take that on my chin. Meanwhile, everyone who came after the fact will praise for it.
Mims realized way ahead of time that the world was going digital.
Technology lives in the internet world, it lives on the web, it lives in digital downloads, it lives in ringtones. And if people start realizing where music is going and how technology is going, then stop worrying about album sales, because they're gonna be what they are.
And this made him a lot more money than the music did. Mims picked a career in tech over a comeback in rap. At the age of 43, with an estimated net worth of $35 million, who would blame him?
They give me no answers.
Early 2000s, Gorilla Zoe was the king of the trap. His song Hood Rich was on every mixtape. His flow was tighter than Fort Knox security. Collaborations? Check. Album sales? Check. Future looking brighter than the sun? Double check. But then, crickets. Gorilla Zoe vanished. Remember Shoulder Lean? Yeah, that infectious song that had us all hunching over like question marks in the club. Well, young Dro, the man behind the mic, kinda just vanished. Dro had the flow, the charisma, the lyrics. He was on his way to becoming a rap superstar, the next big thing in the rap game. Then something shifted. Dro started dropping off T.I.'s albums. His solo projects fizzled out faster than a wet matchstick, and before you knew it, young Dro was yesterday's news.
You know, we sold drugs, and I was like, man, our drugs go for 20s out here. You know what I'm saying? So it was different, you know, and the J's was like, oh boy. So when the J's seen us selling that, it was different. Like we had the clout, like our bags of weed was different. Like we was some different, you know what I'm saying? It was like, boy, them boys down there got it. But we was just from a side of town that it was mediocre at.
Having to overcome morphine addiction due to a gunshot injury, a rough neighborhood, and everything designed against him, his career took quite the hit. We all remember Coolio.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize.
With the shades, the gravity-defying locks, and tunes that can make your grandma's head bob. Yeah, well, Coolio's story is like a rap verse gone wrong. It started hot, fizzled out in the middle, and left us scratching our heads at the end. He was on MTV Jams, award shows, even had his own clothing line. But then, as the 2000s loomed and low-rise jeans became the new must-have, Coolio started to fade faster than a black t-shirt in the sun.
Nobody never got at me directly and said, we want you to join us and we're doing this. That's never happened. But I will tell you, I've had motherfuckers come at me on some weirdo shit, like on some I've had motherfuckers come at me on some, oh, you should do this type shit. And I was like, what? Man, what the f***? That made no sense. I view that as being inhuman. I view that as, I would never do that.
Could that be why Coolio's career took a nosedive into Relic Town? Because he would not be a part of a certain movement?
The cause of death for Grammy-winning rapper Coolio. The 59-year-old was found unresponsive at a friend's Los Angeles home last September. The rapper's family was informed today he died from a fentanyl overdose.
Whatever the case, Coolio was a legend who left quite an impression on the rap culture. Fame is fleeting, and though the roar of the crowd may seem deafening today, But tomorrow, a new star will take the stage. That's the bittersweet beauty and harsh reality of fame. Which one on our list is your favorite rapper? Who would you like to see on our Part 2 list? Don't forget to check out our 15 famous black rappers, which are all female.